Hello, I'm Rafael Seifertiz from the Department of Applied Linguistics at UPV. In this Learning English video, we are going to deal with emphatic words and expressions in academic language. These are the contents. We will start with some words about emphasis in academic language. We will see some emphatic words, in this case adverbs mainly, and we will finish with some typical emphatic expressions. The objectives are to recognize the importance of emphasis in academic language sometimes, to understand the functions, meaning, and the use of the most important, the most usual words used for emphasis in academic English, and to know how to use the major emphatic expressions in English for this purpose. Emphasis is important in academic language because although academic language is normally characterized by hedging and distance, sometimes for argument or clarifying purposes, we want to give emphasis, stressing the importance of a specific part, or to give a view or opinion. There are four major techniques for giving emphasis in academic language: using emphatic sentence structures, using emphatic inversions, using emphatic adverbs, or using emphatic expressions. In this video, we will focus on the last two, adverbs and expressions. Some adverbs are used for emphatic purposes, and they can take different positions in the sentence. Normally, most of them take a mid position, just after the verb to be or have, and before the other verbs. But in fact, undoubtedly, invariably, can also be placed at the beginning. And in turn, categorically or emphatically, can also be placed after the main verb. Here we have a set of emphatic adverbs, which is very typical: especially, essentially, even, in particular, only, or particularly. They can be used to focus attention on a particular part of the sentence, which is in the examples underlined. It is difficult, especially during the design process, to avoid inaccuracies. Another set is actually, indeed, in fact, or of course. In this case, we emphasize that something is true and it happens in reality. For example, no evidence actually confirms that the substance was the cause of the damage. And another set of emphatic adverbs is absolutely, categorically, completely, entirely, utterly, wholly. They share the meaning that we can find in completely. Absolutely is the most flexible of them all because it can collocate with many adjectives, most of the typical adjectives and verbs. For example, the clients absolutely refused to wait as problems began to appear in the project. These are other emphatic adverbs: clearly, emphatically, indisputably, obviously, undeniably, undoubtedly, unquestionably. These are used to emphasize that there is little argument or little doubt about something, that something is true anyway. So we must be careful to use them. We have to use them with care. For example, undoubtedly, there are still questions to be asked about the nature of the failure. And on the other hand, invariably or unfailingly, they mean always, so they can also be used for emphasis. For example, invariably, consumers in focus groups will express ideas that nobody predicted. There are some other emphatic expressions that we are going to have a look now. Certain expressions add emphasis to your point of view or to the views of other writers, other people. Here we have the structures. It is was plus an adjective, which can be clear, obvious, undisputable, inevitably, undeniable, and then that. Or it is, was, plus the adjective, plus to someone or something, and then the sentence. Here we have two examples. It is undeniable that there is a need for improvements, or it was obvious for the panel that the project was not sustainable. Another structure is it basically, well, very similar. It is, was, plus necessary, imperative, crucial, vital, plus the sentence. Or it is, was, plus the same verbs, the same adjectives, plus for someone something. In this case, we use the infinitive with to. In the examples, we can see that. It was crucial that the fire was stopped soon. Or it is convenient for a large company to go digital. There are some other emphatic expressions such as there is, or there was, or there can be no doubt that. This is very strong. There is no doubt that large sections of the factory must be automated with industrial robots. And also the expression without doubt. It is also very emphatic. It is without doubt the case that the crisis had an impact on the lack of supplies. And some verbs presenting a clear evidence, such as demonstrate, prove, reveal, show, can sometimes be emphatic themselves, especially when we don't use cautious or hedging language. For example, these results demonstrate that the addition of chrome reduces rust. In conclusion, emphasis is important in academic language sometimes, and there are certain words and expressions in English, basically adverbs, that can be used for this purpose of giving emphasis. And it is necessary, very important, to know the meaning, the use of the words and expressions in English which are used to give emphasis in academic English. Thank you very much for your attention.